friends, welcome back to Mixed Media Frenzy, and we have a very cool looking sketch we're working with lots of mixed media in the background. Looks like a little photo block across this way, big title, and some stars. So it'll be interesting to start playing with this and see where I go with it. I'll put the sketch in this corner up here when I go ahead and start working on it. Now I'm starting with just this really nice thick piece of white cardstock that I got in my Mind the Scrap kit, my December kit. And in my sketch it has 3 photos here, so I'm going to use these 2 photos and then this as a large photo on the end because I liked that photo best. This is my daughter on the sidelines at her game. Okay, so she plays volleyball. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll voice over and fast forward the next bits of this. So here we go. All right, so I'm just using this super cheap white cardstock. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I'm using it, and I am not going to use gesso or anything. I'm going to just see how it goes. Whoops, way too much mist. We're going to try to get some back in the bottle. Alrighty, so that goes back in the bottle, and this color that I'm going to use, I'm going to splat it on. It's like chocolate covered cherries or something like that by Tattered Angels. It's just a little bit too much on the brown side, and you know what? I know it's chocolate covered cherries, but like the bottom of the mist bottle is a lot pinker. So you don't get that from the bottle. So I went ahead and added in just a little bit more pink, and then I went ahead also and grabbed my new Vicki Boutin template and used some Heidi Swapp texture paste in gold, but it's a little bit more of a dirty gold, and did that down to the right of the smushing area, just like you see where it kind of looks like a stamp or something on the right of the scrap lift. Well, it's not exactly a scrap lift of the sketch. So I went ahead and did that, and I'm letting it dry up above. I also did some really nice gold splatty bits, and I'm gonna let that dry for just a second. I did make sure to go ahead and do a really light coat of the texture paste so it should dry in no time. Decided to go ahead and put the photo of my daughter right there, the large one, up on some foam tape. She is incredibly expressive when she is on the sidelines. No matter what, you can hear yelling, screaming, carry on, and really, cheering on and coaching her team the entire time. So a photographer, one of the team photographers, I think they have 2 of them, went ahead and was taking pictures of her, and she sent them to me, and I think that they're pretty hilarious. But it captures her ways perfectly. So what else can I tell you? Okay, I have the gold. I have that. I did splatty bits with all of the colors, and I did end up really liking the way it looks. Sorry if you see my hair a little bit. I'm kind of short, so I have to do that. Now, I was a little overly jazzed with myself for just using this absolute like rubbish paper. But it worked perfectly. So if any of you guys have that indigo and ivy backing that comes with a vellum, like the little like cardboardy white paper, it works really well for mixed media. Who would have known? All right, so yes, I know I'm covering some of that texture paste, but that's perfectly fine. Usually when you're using mixed media, a ton of it gets covered up. Sorry about that. I tend to text and have fun with my friends a lot while I'm scrapbooking. I have the base of my layout done, and this is the part that I really have fun with. I've gone into my Heidi Swapp die cuts, ephemera, whatever you call it, and I've auditioned a bunch of pieces that I really like the look of. And when I started this, I really didn't know the direction I was going to go into, but I loved kind of this coppery color with the pink and green. So that's where it's going. And it does end up playing really well off of the pink and the chocolate covered cherry mist and all that kind of thing. Now it is a little off for me to use both gold and copper, but I'm just going for it. I mean, I wish I had this like pinky copper color of texture paste, and I'm sure I could have made it, but you know, I'm just not that patient of a girl when it comes to this. So I really like this little camera piece, and I'm going to make sure to pop that up on some fun foam. And yeah, so it's going to be kind of a large element on my layout, but that is perfectly fine. I really, really like it. So what else to tell you? Oh, those are Vicki Boutin, and I think it's called Vicki Boutin puffy phrases or something like that, but they're like the shiny puffies. So I mean they're really, really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and use them. So that's going to bring yet more of the black onto my layout, which will, you know, of course, give it just a little bit more street cred when it comes to why are your photos outlined in black. They're outlined in black because I am working my way through a big stack of black, like cardstock scraps. I have them just to the left of me, and you'll see a lot of my layouts right now. I am matting in black and getting through those offcuts. It's kind of cool. Now I did use two of these stars as well that were part of those Vicki Boutin puffy words, puffy phrases. I can't remember exactly how it's called, phrased, etc. on the product. But that is giving me a nice little visual triangle of that product, which I like. I went ahead and put that hexagon piece up, which, you know, is off frame. Sorry about that, off camera. Up kind of floating around, but I did like it. I think it's giving something kind of interesting for your eye to look at as well. And I do want to make sure to get some of that deeper, it's almost a jade green, evergreen color in here, because I think it is gorgeous. These are pink paisley enamel dots, enamel shapes, not sure what, enamel bits. And I'm using the really nice deep rose color that is in there because I have some great pink on my layout. The Admit One sticker I thought worked well for this because you do need tickets to get into their games. So I thought that was kind of a good little piece to put in here, even though it is ever so pretty, and clearly a sports game is not the prettiest situation. I just like to use my products however I want, you know, sitting there being the boss of them. So I'm going to go ahead, and I decided that I wanted just a little bit more of the pink splatty bits on this because it felt like the hue of my enamel dots was just too saturated with what I had on my page. And you know, it's so weird that just a little tiny bit of splatter really did the trick for this. So I went ahead and put the year on this layout, and that's really going to be about it. Showing you just a little bit more of a close-up kind of thing. You see how loud my kid looks there. Anywho, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys ever so soon.